Hello world, from whichever time zone you're catching me from, my name is MD90. Welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn on the bell notification to all so you do not miss the uploads that come out. And the easiest way for you to navigate the channel is to head to the playlist. You'll find videos curated for you based on your interest. So if you're interested in the Kutika podcast, you'll find a playlist for that. For news and trends, there's a playlist for that. Exclusive with MD90, a bunch of playlists that are created based on your interest. So the easiest way to navigate the channel is head straight to the playlist and you'll find what you're here for. Consider becoming a member of the channel. Right next to the subscribe button is a join button. You click on the join button so that you can become a member of the channel. You support the team on the production and a number of things that we're doing here, and we appreciate that.
Oh, by now you must have got the news that the Zambian-owned bank has been taken over by the Bank of Zambia. Trust Bank will no longer be in existence. So it's under care and maintenance of the Bank of Zambia. So Sampa has been reacting to that. He seems to have been very affected by that because of what's involved. So he says, those who borrow from government financial institutions and do not pay back should be named and shamed. Makamaka, our politician, be it from the ruling or opposition, they agree and made citizens lose their savings and thousands lose their jobs. So, as you are aware, the same bank that I'm referring to that has been taken over, that's Trust Bank. It's been taken over by Bank of Zambia. So he's been going hard on that in terms of posts. So it goes further to say this is still Sampa. Trust Bank should have been saved by attracting offshore investors. IDC is failing the nation. Mr. Friday Njovu must be turning in his grave. No Zambian should lose their hard-earned savings in banks due to poor management and inside lending. It's criminal. So he's been doing a number of posts about that since the information was published to say the Bank of Zambia has taken over Trust Bank. So he's been doing these posts. So people didn't get the context to understand like what is really going on. Where does this story come from? So because of the number of posts that he put up, it compelled the ambassador, the Zambian ambassador to the United States, Chimambakanyama, to finally respond. If you remember, Chimambakanyama worked for Zisk Insurance and also worked for either the IMF or Bank of World Bank at some point. So he was like, okay, let me provide context because what Sampa was doing was simply speaking from emotion, how he felt about it. Because yes, a number of people were going to lose their jobs, and not everyone that invested their money in the bank will be able to get back their money in full. Because it's dependent on whether the Bank of Zambia decides to sell the assets that are remaining of the bank. And if someone has got more money than what's the assets are valued at, they will only get part of the money. So Chimambakanyama decided to respond to Sampa and give him a little bit of detail because he's been around these sectors of finance for a bit. So the ambassador to America from Zambia says, this is Chimambakanyama responding to Sampa. He says, Trust Bank tried many times to attract offshore investors but failed. They even had Kingdom Bank of Zimbabwe invest in the bank in the early 2000s, but still remained undercapitalized. Zisk is the institution that he works for. It should be like Zambia State Insurance Corporation. This is where Chimambakanyama worked for a long period of time. Zisk supported its listing on Lusaka Stock Exchange via private placement. It still failed to attract meaningful offshore investors. International Monetary Fund first sounded the alarm about Trust Bank as far back as 2001. In one of the articles, visits, and that's what led to the Bank of Zambia to place red alert then on the bank. Mr. Njovu, this is the late owner now, the man that founded the bank or who owned it at this particular time, and the one that Sampa was in that particular post. So Mr. Njovu, Mawa Chiwambakayama still speaking. Mr. Njovu eventually lost the bank, but some of the new equity holders invested capital in kind, and that was not good enough for a bank. Mr. Njovu finally died, knowing the bank he had founded was surviving by a thread. So this is the context that Mr. Wambakayama is providing. Say even at the time that this man was dying, the bank was already hanging by the balance. And then the new CEO, this is the Indus Trust Bank CEO, came to the US last year seeking investors. It was a question of whether to invest in the bank or start a completely new bank altogether. And then also a response to Munyanga, who responded to Wambakayama. And then he says, the Bank of Zambia will communicate the details in due course, but I suspect many will be compensated over a period of time. So talking about the compensation in terms of people that have money in the bank, in the Invest Trust Bank, he says it will take a while, and it's all dependent on how valuable those assets are. And then this year, KK would have turned 100 years. As you know, the 28th of April, that's his birthday. Had he been alive, he would have turned 100 years, essentially, or One Zambia, One Nation, commemorating a legacy. So, Minister of Tourism, Rodney Skumba, has today announced that government is in the process of building a museum in memory of the late founding president, Kenneth Kaunda, which shall be named the KK Memorial Museum. So that's the news that has been announced. And then as they build up to his birthday, which is towards the end of this month on the 28th, they said that we're going to commemorate his birthday in his absentia. He was really looking forward to his birthday. Even his granddaughter, that was present at this, stated that everyone that would greet him, he would put up a sign to say, I only have 3 more years to reach 100. But unfortunately, it wasn't to be. He died should have been 2 years ago. Yeah, should have been 2 years ago. This was during Edgar Lungu's reign, towards the end of Edgar Lungu's reign when he died, so around that time. So 3 years ago, when he was notifying the public to say, I'm almost 100. But this year is supposed to be after 100. So the Minister of Tourism said they're going to commemorate his birthday regardless of his absentia. The nation has to celebrate his legacy. So a museum will be created in honor of him. So this was during the announcement at the Taka National Museum, just opposite Kamwa Market there. And the lady in red there, that should be his granddaughter, and then that's his son, right next to her on the left, and then Rodney, the Minister of Tourism. So these are some of the highlights from that event. That's the news, ladies and gentlemen.
I live the hard life because I'm heavenly minded. Hold up, I'm a 90s baby. So really, it made me walk up to you, and if you don't subscribe to the channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button, like the video, and share it with someone. I know you will.